Good evening, guys. It's Stephen here. Wednesday, 24th September. 5 minutes until kickoff for the Huddersfield game. Sorry, it was a little bit late, as always, just family nonsense. Are you all well? Are you all good? Are you looking forward to this game? I am. Really interesting lineup. A whole bunch of fun angles to talk about. 10 10 academy graduates in the Manchester City squad, which is absolutely wild. And the return of the nomadic one, the enigma, the mystery, the magic man, the Yorkshire Pirlo, Calvin Phillips. Who had that in their bingo card for 2025, 26? Absolute wild. Calvin Phillips is in the squad. I'll bring up the team over on City's, the graphic over on City's Twitter, and it looks like this. James Trafford's in goal, Mateus Nunes at right back, John Stones and Big Johnny Stones, and Nathan Aki, baby. Nico Riley at left back, the first of the Nicos, then the Rico, and then the Nico. A Rico sandwich between Nicos. Big Nico's and a little Rico. You got midfield of Rico, Nico, and one of Mikasa, Oscar Bobb, or Foden. Someone's playing midfield there. I'm not sure it's going to be the false nine. I would guess the false nine will be Mikasa or Bobb. We will see. It could be Mikasa in midfield with Foden as the false nine, Bobb on the right, Savinho on the left. I don't know. And then a whole bunch of academy lads on the bench. Braithwaite with Jaden Heskey, Stephen Mafuni, and Reagan Heskey. A really talented young winger. Calvin Phillips is there. Bernardo Silva, Reinders, Ruben Diaz, and your big Donny D. Donnarumma is on the bench as well. It's a really interesting side. It's one of those things where we'll have to see how many get on. Caden Braithwaite we've already seen as well in the last season. A really talented player. 10-1, City 10-1, wow. Even I know that reference. I wasn't there live to see it, mate, but I understand the reference. No idea how far my stream will be behind tonight, by the way, but it's not in the States, in America, so I'm watching on a stream that is definitely not going to be ahead. It'll be behind, and I got a bit of a cough still, so I'm trying. So apologies if there's a bit of coughing in the mic. Nicola's putting Ruben to bed. As soon as he's in bed, I'm going to ask her for a medicinal drink of some kind to get through the coughing, because it's annoying the hell out of me today. Coughing's relentless, lads. But hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys anyway. What do you make of the lineup? I am quite looking forward to it. I always love seeing academy lads involved. Mikasa, the most talented player in the academy last season, deservedly starting this game. Of course, it's down to squad places and all that kind of stuff. But if he impresses, why not? Why not see him more in the squad? Why not test him further in other cup competitions or whatever, or maybe potentially Premier League minutes? There's lots of stories here potentially. And then once again, oh, that sounds nasty, Cody. I'm expecting Ruben to catch that at some point. Yeah, almost certainly, mate. I've had this cough for about a month now after illness. These coughs that take forever to get over. Bit of a tight chest as well, actually. Maybe I should get it checked out. Jaden Heskey. Two Heskey kids. Emil Heskey was actually a good footballer. Don't let the memes tell you otherwise. Came a bit of a joke because of KSI turned him into a meme, but Emil Heskey was a good footballer. He wasn't a great striker, but he was a good striker. Not a great goal scorer, but he scored some good goals, and he had some seasons where he scored 20, but largely scored about between 7 and 12, 13 goals a season. But his kids have got an awful lot of talent, both at Manchester City's academy. I saw Jaden Heskey a few years back, and he was mainly a sort of like a little striker. But he's become more of an attacking midfielder these days. And he's a good one too. And Reagan Heskey's arguably even better. He's a 6'2" tricky winger. Plays a bit like Rafael Leao. Really skillful. Mafuni is absolutely fantastic. Mafuni is essentially Guardiola, but an academy lad. A really talented player. And I'd really love to see him. Once again, how many academy players starting here today? We've got Nico Riley, Rico Lewis, Oscar Bobb, Phil Foden, and Mikasa and Trafford. Jesus, a lot of academy players today. We're about to kick off anyway. Let's see how we get on. There we go, we're underway. Up the Blues. Let's see how we get on anyway. What's everyone's predictions? Is the stream quiet? It might be quiet, mate. I'll just check my mic settings. 1 sec. I'm not talking very loudly, to be fair, because the kids are in bed, so I'm just trying to not tilt the volume while Nicola does the thing. Input. It seems alright. It doesn't seem too quiet, too loud. Is that a bit better for you? Everyone's a bit poorly, I think. So City in the oh, I'm loving the white socks for the kit. That's lovely. How nice is the white socks for that kit? I'm a big fan of that. Looks ace, doesn't it? What a nice kit. What a really nice kit. Seasonal change in Manchester hits heavy. It does indeed. Well, my son's just started preschool. Been very nervous. He never went to nursery. He's just about to turn 3, Ruben. And he's handled preschool really, really well. Obviously, a little moment or two there, but he's been great. I'm expecting, my point is, the illness is to pick up big time in the house because he's never been to nursery. He's been around play groups and stuff like that. So he's caught bugs and illnesses, but it's got a rocket. We've got a baby in the house as well, so that'll be fun. So I'm trying to look at this shape currently. It looks like Mikasa is a false 9. Thank you very much, Cody. Yeah, he's doing really well. He's a very secure boy, which I think helps him. Oh, a bit risky there from James. Unlucky Aspie. For the Calpol fun. Thank you so much, Curtis. Very kind, my friend. How's everyone's day been? Super chat from Curtis for the Calpol fund, it says. Yeah, we've got a lot of Calpol in this household. If your parents, you buy an awful lot of Calpol. And Nurofen as well. And Piriton, because my son's got eczema. Piriton's a big one in our household. Thank you so much, Curtis. Incredibly kind. Very kind of you, mate. Very kind of you. Yeah, well, Lewis is definitely he's playing midfield, isn't he, today, Rico? Surely. He's a better midfield than he is a right back. Savinho getting a start. Be interesting as a story there for Savinho. See how he plays today. Savinho's got to buckle down. If he wants to go to the World Cup, he's got to buckle down. It's on Sky Sports, John, the game. I'm watching on... It was inside the penalty area. It's Cough, man. It was risky from Trafford, but he did keep it in. I miss Marmouche. Foden's not even feel, by the way. I miss Marmouche and Shirky. You would think in this instance, this is where the back four of, now experienced back four of Nunes. God, do you remember when I was single? I wasn't doing videos, was I? I've been with Nicola for 11 years. How do you remember when I was single, mate? Do you know something we don't know, Goshen? Like I say, but I might be back on Big Up soon, mate. It's just this month. Goshen, what's wrong with you, mate? Why have you just dropped an expletive in the chat and a fuck and we're not sure what's going on? Nah, I think I'll be back on Big Up for October. It was in August. I didn't have the chance to get enough streams, just financially. So Big Up, and I'll probably will go back on Big Up soon. Well, for City, right? I mean, It's really hard to rank them, mate, because Shirky, we haven't seen him for City really at all, mate. A little bit. Oh, he's done really well there, Savinho, lucky. I mean, that was a long time ago, Minty, to be fair. Reasonably composed so far from City, as you'd expect. Savinho's going to have some joy, I think, against his... against their right back. No, he's just giving a free kick away.
Huddersfield defenders just getting back into the 18-yard box as Savinho made inroads down the left-hand side. Rowan is down, isn't it? So he's on the edge of the penalty area. Finger or something in the face from
What happened there? I can't even see in the centre. Kusanov on a shirt is a good bet. I can't show you the game, sorry, mate. But yeah, Thomas asking for me to show the game. I can't do that, unfortunately, lads. I don't want to go time taken down. I remember when Zabaleta joined in 2008, and I knew he was just going to be great. I remember reading all the stats about him, how he was like, he gave, I think it was Ronaldinho, a really hard time for he was playing for Espanyol, and they were all talking about him as the toughest fullback in La Liga. And I just had a feeling Zabaleta was going to be a bit of a cult hero, and he joined. And despite having not watched much about him, I got him on a City shirt, and it was such an inspired choice for me, honest. Before he even joined, well, just before I'd even seen him play in a City shirt, I got Zabaleta, and he became a cult hero. Zabaleta was a bloody legend, man. What an absolute monster of a footballer. So it's two false nines, basically. Bobb is on the right, clearly. Savinho's on the left, clearly. Dual false nines is the way for City. My stream is patchy. Yeah, dual false nines is a very pet thing, isn't it?
Savinho again. They send a second man out to try and give Sorensen a little bit of support. Ball over the top, and Redmond try and put a bit of pressure on.
Nothing in that, Redmond. Get up, mate. So the false nine is Foden and Mikasa. I'll show you on screen actually how it's lined up roughly. It is. Sort of like this. Let me fill it up. Bobb drifting. Oh, shot blocked. Oops. Trafford. Oh no, why is it going over there? So Trafford, O'Reilly, Ake, Stones, and Nunes. I put Savinho, Nico G, Rico Lewis. Who else is it? Foden, Mikasa, Bobb. So it's like this basically. Foden and these guys are sort of just playing here. It's sort of like a 4-2-4 kind of thing. It's sort of like that basically. The Roma one was the most iconic one, wasn't it? With the badge celebration. And of course, we forget he scored in the big game, didn't he? The infamous one. That guy just dispossessed Foden and then just passed it straight to Nico Gonzalez. Get the likes of Indeed. So tell me anything interesting happened to you today. Nice ball in behind. Bobb picked out Mukasa. Oh, Rico Lewis, sorry. Bobb picked up the other way around. Bobb picked up Rico Lewis. Why is he unrated too, Rico? Get a serious number, mate. Ooh. I'm on monitor watch, by the way. You see me looking around. I got the baby here with me. I'm old school. I like numbers that are predictable. Oh yeah, I like normal numbers. There you go. That's what Sofa score gone for. Yeah, I do. I just like normal numbers. I can't deny it. There's your stats anyway as well. Is Nunes a better fullback than Cancelo? Are you absolutely stupid? I mean that with the nicest possible way possible. Cancelo was one of the best fullbacks in the world, and you can't just talk about a couple of few assists. Bear in mind, Nunes' a lot of assists came from left wing. Don't forget. I mean that so nicely, mate. Cancelo was one of the most talented players in the league. Like Cancelo was a borderline genius, defensively a little bit off, but an absolute genius defense going forward. And you're not stupid, obviously, but what a wild question. You made a mistake, but Cancelo is one of the reasons we get to Champions League semi-final. Full stop. Like you're not getting to. Nunes isn't getting to a Champions League semi-final, mate. Cancelo was in the PFA Team of the Year twice. He was a genius player. It's one of the reasons we kept the ball as well and built up. Like Nunes is one of the reasons why we can't keep the ball as well because he's not as good as Cancelo. Like Cancelo, technically, intelligence, his build-up, his ability with either foot, miles ahead of Nunes in another planet ahead of Nunes. And Cancelo was a little bitch. That's the way I can describe Cancelo, a little bitch. But in terms of pure talent, and defensively he wasn't the best, but pure talent, just an absolute phenomenal footballer, ridiculously talented. Nunes is just a really good runner with a decent cross. And that's it. He's a good player, Nunes, but Cancelo was a great player. Yeah, exactly, Stelios. Bang on. Best left back in the league for 2 seasons. No. Ah, poor no one there. Alright, it's great. Nunes is not as good as anyone from the teams of the 3-4 years ago. Nunes would even get minutes in that squad. 3-4 years ago, Nunes wouldn't even get minutes. He'd be getting the Calvin Phillips treatment. He's only getting minutes right now because the squad level's dropped. Like previously, we had Kyle Walker and our backup right back was fucking Danilo. Such a high standard. Danilo was like Juventus captain. I know you're a fan of Nunes, but Nunes is nowhere near a Premier League winning level. He just isn't. Fine as a backup squad player. He's a good lad, Nunes. Clearly a good lad. I've got no problem with that. But if Nunes is playing regular football for Manchester City, there's something that's gone wrong with the squad building, and it has. We don't win the trophies. We don't score the goals and dominate games without Cancelo. I know his defensively wasn't great, but you always have to consider the fact that he was absolutely brilliant technically. One of the reasons we can build up. I watch City now. Well, it's more than just a Derby mistake. Let's be honest, mate. As soon as Nunes comes on the pitch these days, most days he makes a mistake. But yeah. But I'm about to say Bernardo, yeah, like I was never that hyped about Cancelo personally. I was excited. I thought he was going to be a good player, but I didn't expect him to end up being the best left back in the league for a while. I knew he was talented as well, but I thought when I watched clips of Cancelo when he joined, he was more of an overlapping right back, and he became this brilliant inverted left back with a great creator. And I watch City now, we struggle to build up. It's because we've lost the technicians, you know. Cancelo was a genius technician.
Love to bring something to the table, but I was always defeated quite heavily in this matchup.
Put it this way, we had Pete Gundogan and Pete Cancelo against Arsenal. Our build-up's a lot better alongside Rodri, you know, like in terms of in terms of keeping the ball. Good ball to Savinho to Bobb. I might have to disappear in a minute, by the way. My son wakes up. No, okay. No, he hasn't woken up, don't worry. I've got a monitor here watching that as well. My predictions for this one, I went for 3-1, I reckon I went. I think they might score. We've lost a lot of technical ability. We had geniuses on the ball. I don't think we're trying to be less technical. I think we want to keep the ball. I just think the players we signed aren't quite as technical. I think we also got very lucky. We signed a bunch of geniuses who were great for it. Nico's done really well. Nico G to win the ball back. Okay, apparently we've scored a goal thanks to the chat, but I've not seen it yet, so I'll talk you through it. Nunes out to Bobb. Bobb back inside to Nunes. He plays to Phil Foden, who lovely little 1-2. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Unbelievable. Love you, Phil Foden. Beautiful goal. Stunning stuff. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful stuff from Philly, that, isn't it? Is that an assist from Mikasa? It is an assist from Mikasa. Beautiful goal. It's a classic Phil Foden drill from the outside the area to the bottom corner. It's brilliant. Phil's back at the moment, he really is. It's a beautiful goal. He's in great form, Phil, isn't he? Beautiful stuff. He's so far behind. You'll get the goal tomorrow, mate. Enjoy it when it comes. It's a good goal. It's not a chance. It's just brilliant for Foden. The away kits are class. They're beautiful. We've got a really good... Yeah, apart from the mad third one, which you haven't seen yet, have we? Hello, Mama. There you go. He's fine. Can I get a coffee? Apparently it's good for a cough. Thank you.
It's okay, just still don't think he's properly down, but he's like...
Is he okay?
I put him down thinking he was dying.
Shout out to Nicola, by the way.
He went, what are you doing,
Oh. Is he okay? Cassie's fine. Both my sons are in bed now. City 1-1-0. You okay? Love you. If I get a coffee, that'd be great. Coffee apparently helps.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, but coffee would be better. No, not better, but... Cheers, people. I'm free now. I'm off parenting duties, which is good. I can relax now. I've been like staring at the monitor at the same time. Rain kit. Yeah, we haven't seen the rain kit yet, and I am very scared. Obviously, from a distance, he'll just like a bright kit, you know. So he'll like a goalkeeper kit or something. He's just up close where... Oh, cut half from Phil. Phil looks great, doesn't he? Yeah, he's played as a false 9. Dip chip. Imagine we just never wear the third kit, JM11. 11-11. I'm going to call you Jimmel. I'm Oscar Bobb his biggest fan, but I can't deny I'm a little bit tiny, like 10%, not massive, 10% worried about Oscar Bobb. Is anyone else in the same? I guess it depends if you watched him a lot. I don't feel, and it could be fitness, but I don't feel he's quite as sharp as he was a year ago. Is anyone else getting that feeling? He was a lot sharper before his injury. I'm just a bit worried about him. I know it's Jeremy. I really realised what I said, Jeremy 11-11. Sorry. He just looks a little bit more hesitant than I remember Oscar Bobb. Like, Oscar Bobb was lightning in terms of like his speed of thought, but he looks a little bit like he's doubting himself. Yeah, sorry, I thought that. I watched. Does anyone see 28 Years Later? I really enjoyed 28 Years Later. The new one, the new 28 Days, Weeks. If you have seen it, you'll get the reference there. Well, Savinho's done now anyway. Savinho's obviously going to go. At this point, I think Savinho's done. Like, I can immediately feel Savinho's going to leave next summer. And I care about Bobb more than I care about Savinho, to be fair. Because Bobb, obviously, I'm attached to emotionally. I know it's fitness, but I also wonder if he's going to get the football to play his way into sharpness, if that makes sense. Because he's going to have to play his way into fitness. That's why I'm a bit worried about it. I don't know. It is normal, absolutely. I just, you wonder if he's going to find his rhythm and his confidence. It's very hard, essentially, because it has to be. If you get your injury and you're Rodri, you're just going to play and play and play and play. He could benefit from a loan. He could be. I wouldn't say that previously. And Makeda's a right winger, by the way. Makeda, to me, is very Saka coded. Bit Mahrez, bit Saka. Really good player. I think Savinho's a cracking footballer. I know it's very divisive, but I think he was excellent at the start of last season, and then lost an awful lot of form, which is a shame. He is on the bench, Phillips, which is wild. Oh, you got to drill that across there, Savinho.
To just think it back towards a teammate. He went for the latter. Foden again, just taking it on his back foot. So at ease, need to get a little bit tight for Huddersfield there in dictating proceedings.
Yeah, look, Bobb will get some chances, but I do wonder. He's just, yeah. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. I was put it this way: a year ago, I was sure, 100% sure, and now I'm not 100% sure. Right now. I mean, Joseph Lee, it's only 25 minutes in for Savinho, to be fair. In his first start of the season, so I wouldn't. I mean, you're right, but I would like it's about Huddersfield. But at the same time, I won't read too much into it. I think he's also blunted the start of his season, hasn't he? That's not a pen for me. That's really soft. Oscar Bobb just ran into him then. I'd like to see a replay of it, but. Lovely skill, by the way, from Phil Foden to get away. Lovely from Oscar Bobb. Oh, unlucky. Good little 2 minutes from Oscar Bobb there. I think Nico G's doing really well as well. I think he's of course it's the level of opposition he gets, but he's looks miles better than which he should do. I love Carabao Cup games. I think they're just fun. They're always fun to me. I see why you'd say it, Aaron, but basically he just ran into him and he's like, Bob's so talented. I think he's absurdly talented. I think it's just a confidence thing, isn't it?
This time, horribly mistimed, in fact. Well, it's nowhere near the ball. Not only are we looking at a Huddersfield side that are playing a different style tonight, in contrast to the league form.
You know, everyone goes on about Trafford being 6'6". That should put the end to it, shouldn't it? That picture of him there. Like that picture, I'm not sure if you can see it, but he's definitely not taller than Nico O'Reilly there. They're about the same height, if not yeah, about the same height, 6'4", I'd say. 6'3", 6'4". Oh, the dad yours, Joseph, I'm knackered, mate. Up at 6 o'clock every day, up all night. Going to bed late because I'm tidying all night. Dad yawns, mate. The Carling Cup. You've got Dad yawns. What about the Milk Cup? That's proper old throwback. No, the Carling Cup for me was as a growing up. What's it been? The Carling Cup, then was it the Carabao Cup after the Carling Cup? Pep looking like he'll fit on the terraces. Capital One Cup. Oh, that didn't last long, did it? That was yeah. Thank you, beautiful.
Did you try turning that?
No, it's not on TV. I realise it's on. I'm going to give it as long as possible. My Nicholas asked me to turn TV on because I got flooded in the office the other day and my TV's not been on since. Scared. Love you.
Were you chicken dinosaurs today?
I had chicken dinosaurs and chips for dinner. By the way. They were good, thank you. I had chip butty. And I had some grapes that Ruben hadn't eaten. I'm telling Nicola there. It must be weird I just randomly start talking to Mike about stuff that's disconnected that people can't hear. Nicola brought me a coffee up in my my Super Daddy-O cup. Me. Ba-bum-bum-ba-dum. This is composed. Yeah, I'm not full of energy today, by the way. I'm just chill watching the game with you. And I hope you don't mind the sort of low-key, gentle, passive commentary. Thank you to everyone watching, by the way. I sometimes forget how much 100 people is. It's a lot. I know it's not millions. But 100 people in the room with you is a lot of people hanging around with you, isn't it? And I appreciate it. Thank you so much. 8 Nori, Nguyen, 8 Nori, I think it'll be probably after the international break, I think. I reckon at this point it's after, so I think I'll miss maybe Monaco, Burnley. If that's about me, Harrison, thank you very much. If not, yeah. Yeah, it's shattered today and a little bit poorly still. But I'm happy, so. Yeah, I can't wait for Shirky Dip Chip. Like, I feel like so much of... Also Marmouche, man. Like, Marmouche, I don't know where he's going to start, but he's such an effective player, Marmouche. Like, Marmouche's goals and assists and energy and skill and... Like, there's a dynamism to Marmouche that makes things happen. Like, he's clearly an exciting footballer. don't think we can read too much into Savinho today, by anyway. I don't think we can read too much into Savinho today, and also whoever else. A lot of these people are starting, one of the first, second game of the season. Mikasa, I love Mikasa's confidence there.
Probably been the one furthest forward for the majority, but you've seen Foden dropping as deep as the centre halves at times to get on the ball, and I think they're not playing with a set centre forward.
What a kit this is.
Fluidity is a huge strength of theirs tonight.
Yeah, the Dzeko. Yeah, the Dzeko. The White fans in good form. Nah, nothing on that in Mikasa. Who does Mikasa remind me of aesthetically? He looks like someone, I can't think of who it is. I actually was one of the people, Blue Lightsaber, who said there's a good chance Borges isn't actually as good as you think he is. I remember being one of the ones on the... I said he was great. No, I mean visually. He doesn't like Alano, right? But I remember saying Borges there's a good chance that he's just a runner. I only said that because I've seen a lot of very talented running wingers in the academy who haven't quite made it when they get to professional game. So I'm always cautious about wingers who use their pace to beat people. And I've seen a fair few. I've seen loads of tricky, pacey wingers in the academy who are largely beat people because they're faster and more physical. Get to men's football and just not be as effective. You have to be really skillful. Like Oscar Bobb, you have to be really skillful and tricky and with loads of ability to get far. Not just faster than the rest of them. Like Cole Palmer, for example. He was a winger. He wasn't just faster. He was just better. And Borges was very effective, but he never stood out to me as a guaranteed. I learned my lesson with people like Brandon Barker and I remember it was people like Isaac Buckley in the academy and Michael Fernandez as well. Oh yeah, sorry, Phil Foden. You probably Queen S. You probably find it on if you search it. Great goal as well. Really nice goal. 1-2 with Mikasa. Drilled it centrally into the bottom, to the keeper's left, into the bottom corner. It's a classic Phil Foden goal. You've seen him score it a billion times. Well, not a billion, probably like 12 times maybe. I've learned a lot about watching academy football. Like the first time I started watching academy football generally was the Brandon Barker, Angelino Maffeo, Tosin Adebayo, Thierry Ambrose, Kean Bryan, Angus Gunn, this sort of era, and there's a lot of very Angus Gunn. What's his name? Is it Angus Gunn? I forgot his name. The keeper. And there's a lot of very talented players. Breckin wasn't in that part of that generation. Breckin was slightly later. But Breckin, I don't think Breckin's that good. But Philip Sandler, got it. Devontae Cole was it was Angus Gunn. You're right. Devontae Cole as well. He was slightly there, and I used to think they were so good and so much better that I had no reference point of how good they were going to be. Braff's another one, by the way, in terms of college Borges and just faster, but very talented. But there's a Javaro Dilrosun as well. Where's he at Dilrosun these days? But he was another good player where I thought he's going to have a good career. He has had a good career, The biggest example was the young Welsh winger. What was he called? Went to Schalke. I forgot his name. He looked brilliant. Is that Rangers, I think, now, isn't he? What's he called? Someone remind me. Help me, chat. Rabbi Matondo. That's the one, mate. Thank you very much. Well, I think that's the thing is Aaron Brooks. You mentioned Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho was insanely technical, though. He was insanely technical. Like, he was obviously going to be a top-level footballer. Rabbi Matondo was so fast, but he was always slight, and his game was based on just running past people a lot. He was one where I watched him go to elite level football, and the top level footballers are just fast. They're fast, and they're strong, and they'll catch you, and they're smarter than you. So it doesn't work just dropping your shoulder and running past them. They know what they're doing. So it hasn't worked the same way. Jose Angel Pozo, yeah, he was a really good player without his injuries. But yeah, I used to watch that a lot religiously, and for years, I started to realise, well, actually, these guys aren't quite as good. Actually, some of them could have made it, but you start to realise when you watch other generations come through, and the generation after that was like, you get to, your Sancho, Brahim Diaz, Phil Foden generation, Tyrese Campbell, who else is in that team? You had Muric in goal, you had... Oh God! Centre backs were. There's quite a few of them. Nice from Oscar Bobb, but lots of talent anyway. Yeah. No, Doyle. Oh yeah, Tommy Doyle as well. Tommy Doyle was part of that generation as well. And I guess I started to realise that some you have to be truly special. Then eventually you got to the McAtee, Palmer. Jason Denayer was great. Denayer should have been world class. I maintain that. Ishmael Miller was slightly before I started watching, but Jason Denayer should have been world class. So not many people realise, I think, just the extent of how much City fucked Denayer over. So Denayer was playing. He had a loan at Celtic, and he was playing alongside Virgil van Dijk. He turned out to be pretty good, and that partnership was absurd. They were so good. And Denayer got into the Belgian squad. He was fantastic for Celtic as well, out on loan, playing in the Champions League. He was brilliant. Some people actually watched Denayer and Van Dijk and thought Denayer was better at the time. That's not even me. A lot of Celtic fans said the same. And City had told him that if he signed a new contract, he was going to come and be the fourth centre-back and he'd be involved in the squad next season. But Pellegrini, for some reason, decided he really, really wanted Martin Demichelis, even after Denayer had signed a contract. So City told him that. And then they went and signed Demichelis anyway, so something told Denayer he'd be fifth choice centre-back, and they're going to shift him out on loan. And naturally, Denayer was furious, and it sort of like messed up his career. Denayer was so good. The Demeter brothers were in that era as well. Really talented. We had other players like Lorenzo Gonzalez, sorry. So much talent. And a lot of them, Guy Asselin, remember him? Yeah, wow. Guy Asselin, the Israeli Messi. But you start to realise eventually, and I don't keep up with the current crop because I haven't got time. About 2 years ago when my son was born, I stopped just over 3 years ago around. I stopped watching academy games as much as I did because I haven't got time. I've just got too much on. But one day when my boys are old, I'd love to start watching it again. Yeah, I remember Alice Garcia joining, and I remember sitting next to his dad. His dad was the producer for Villarreal at the time, a cameraman, and he came over to watch it. Seko Fofana was really good, and he's had a good career as well. A lot of talent. And do you know what? I feel vindicated. I maybe overestimated a few of them, but I said Oliver Ntcham as well had a good career. I said a lot of them would have a good careers and do really well, and a lot of them have. They've all played professional football, most of them. You're Enes Anal, you're on about. He's at Burnley now, isn't he? Oh, not Burnley, he's at... Where's he Anal at? He's at Bournemouth, isn't he? City's Academy's produced a lot of footballers. And that's the thing is, what I love about City's Academy, everyone goes on, you won't get chances, but it's nonsense, man. The thing is, if you go to the very best school and you fall short, and you don't get a first to university, you get a 1-2, but it's from, I don't know, Cambridge or Oxford, everyone's taking you seriously. If you go to... That's not right. So if you try and aim for the very top and fall a bit short, you're probably going to get a B+ or whatever still anyway. Like, if you are working with the best, you're going to learn an awful lot, even if you don't get the top score, You're still going to land pretty high. Oh, they nearly scored Huddersfield. Bernabé's great. Adrian Bernabé, he's doing really well. I think he's at Parma, and he looks quality. And he was, I had him playing left back. Adrian Bernabé, he looks brilliant. Eric Garcia's so much talent, man. But yeah, essentially, City are almost, for most of the players who get to City's EDS level, you're almost guaranteed a career in football, which is great, and that means you're probably going to earn a few million in your lifetime. Not guaranteed, but even players who play in League 1 and League 2, could be getting 50 to 100 grand a year just to play football, which is not bad, is it? You know, imagine I would take 100. I don't, you know, that's more than pretty much all of us watching this. It's way above the average wage to play football and be idolised. You know, it's not a bad life, is it? You know, and then most of them will be end up championship or above level, or most of them will be earning a good minimum, you know, a minimum 100 grand a year, maybe 200, 300 grand a year, and Luke Bolton as well. So, yeah, it's a good place, City's academy. You know, Tyrese Campbell scored 1 billion goals, left at 16. I think he's playing for Sheffield Wednesday and Stoke and all that kind of stuff, and he's had a good career. He's a millionaire and he's playing in the Championship. It's a great career. We've had that class, in my opinion, Joseph. We've had the class of 92 level. Maybe not. Yeah, we have probably. But they never got all the game time together to you know, if Romeo Lavia stays fit and got into the team, and maybe not quite the class of 92, but like, you know, Delat played regularly with Pep's sides, and you know, Palmer and McAtee got kicked on and stuff like that. Trafford became the #1 goalkeeper. You know, all of a sudden you're looking at a class of 92 vibe, aren't you? I don't think, bear in mind the class of 92, you know, they also were added to by class of 93 and 94 and all that kind of stuff. Karim Rekik, I mean, he had a good career. He was in the German league for an awful long time. So many good players. Boyata had a good career as well. They all had good careers. This is the thing. Boyata. Maffeo was linked to Forest this season. Sturridge is brilliant. Sturridge is one of the best ever Premier League strikers. Trust me on that. Premier League let him down, though. Not Premier League, sorry, his injuries let him down. Yeah, you're right about that, Dip Chip. Stones is proper listens, doesn't he? So I once saw a behind-the-scenes performance from a data analyst at Manchester City. Behind the scenes at the CFA, it was a special thing I was involved in from some one of City sponsors. And it was sort of like, we weren't allowed to film or anything like that. But he gave us a data analyst breakdown of certain things and how they worked, because it was just an insight thing. And the guy was talking about, you know, the development of Sterling and so on. And casually in conversation, Sturridge came up, and he said Sturridge was Sturridge was a genius. And he said, looking at the numbers, Sturridge was absolutely absurd. But injury stopped him from becoming an all-time great. But Sturridge was insanely talented, and I absolutely agree. Sturridge, one of the most gifted players that our academy's ever produced. Liverpool fans love Sturridge, but he was always injured. Unbelievable talent, Sturridge. So talented. If he stayed fit, we're talking about he's up there. If he stays fit, Sturridge. I know he's not the most likeable guy always. He was a bit egotistical at City, but he trusted himself. To be fair, he's only a young lad. But he seems like a fun pundit. He's not my cup of tea, because I'm a bit too old for that. But he's a fun pundit. But if he stayed fit, we're talking about him in the same conversation as the all-time great Premier League strikers. I mean that. Not much happened in this game, by the way. We're just sort of going through the motions here. It's a gentle half of football, isn't it? And Savinho's run out. I saw Victor earlier saying that we were too soft. We should expect more from Savinho. I absolutely agree. But what it's worth, by the way, I expect more from most of these players. I am calm, though. I will give anyone grace when it's their first game of the season. I think Savinho has been lively, but it's not come off. But it is his first game of the season. And I know that he's burnt a lot of the bridges with the Spurs stuff. He has burnt the bridges, so I can't pretend that. But it is his first game of the season, his first start. And everyone to me is allowed a grace period on that. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree, but I won't judge anyone until they get a chance to develop. Well, the shirt's Doku's right now, anyway. A little bit before my time, that Paul. I was only born the year before, so I was, you know. But it's I know all the names: Hinchcliffe, White, Stewart, Brightwell, Lake Redmond. Cracking players. I'm going to guess you mean Ian Brightwell, not David. Savinho, he did, yeah. That was many, many moons ago now. A lot's happened since the World Cup thing. That was like, what, July? That was last season, in my opinion. I don't count it as this season, the Club World Cup, because it was so long ago, and we had like 6 weeks off or whatever afterwards. A month off. It was last season, that, for me. Doku keeps anyone out of the team right now. The shirt says on the left. Marmoush could get a chance at the right, potentially. And I know we don't like that, but he might get a chance there anyway. Oh, I know it is technically this season, but in terms of the timeline and so on, the football that started after the season, the league season, basically 2 weeks after, and then there's a big old break. The summer holidays happened then. Knackered, guys. Well, that's a good point, Dipchip. But that's what squad depth's all about, isn't it? Aït-Nouri has to get ahead of O'Reilly again. I feel it's still a good chance that Aït-Nouri's better going forward, but O'Reilly looks physically dominant, and that matters in the Premier League these days. I mean, we underestimate how good Aït-Nouri is potentially, though. He was great last season. O'Reilly is, when I saw O'Reilly, he was always a 10. Played false 9, played as an 8. But he was attacking midfielder. So that's his best position. But I mean, these days, I mean, you are whatever you play as. I'm a sort of firm believer in that. Everyone acts like a... Oops. You are wherever you play. And I think, largely, you have your positions and all that kind of stuff. But until you play regularly in the first team, that's what you are. You can sit around and say, I'm this and that, and which is probably true. But first team football is so different to academy football. Anyway, half time. I think Josie, that's because he's small, mate. That's why Rico gets the walloping. Yeah, not a lot to talk about in that half, to be honest. City just sort of kept the ball nicely. They kept the ball comfortably, easily. No massive standouts. A great moment of quality. Recycled the ball really nicely. Dominated all the possession. Vastly dominated the ball. It was ridiculous compared to what we saw at the Arsenal game. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Obviously, it's all about the goal. Phil, absolutely wonderful as always. So it's one of those things where we have to analyse the opposition and how good they are. They're not obviously the highest quality. But 82% possession is absurd. So all that stuff about City giving the ball, keeping the ball these days, and then they play at a level like this and they keep the ball 82% of the time. That's ridiculous. I've seen a lot of hate for Savinho on the timeline. He's burned his bridges, hasn't he? I'm just double checking, and it feels like a lot of people don't like Savinho these days. They really don't, do they? Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But Savinho, I think people remember, if you ask to leave, people take it seriously. I know I'm seeing a lot of people laying into Savinho. I don't think he's been terrible. I think he looks like a lad trying to make his first start of the season. But fair enough. If anyone wants to disagree, I'm not saying he's played well, but Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think people are allowed to be rusty, but I guess you're not allowed to be rusty if you demand to go. And that's the issue we got here. That people are going to expect a lot from him. Doku won't feel particularly challenged, I reckon. And I don't think we'll get 70 million for Savinho again, by the way, which is mad. No, we will never get 70. Of course we won't. He'll probably still get 50 million for him because he's Savinho. I do wonder though if City should have accepted that money in hindsight. I'm a Savinho. Savinho has to leave. Apparently he wanted to go yet. We'll never know for certain, Victor. But the rumour is that he was very keen to leave. All the posts on social media implied it too. Savinho never emo on Instagram. But he got very reflective of his Instagram stories and all that kind of stuff and started posting vague things and a picture of a suitcase in the background and all that kind of stuff. The man knew what he was doing. The man was absolutely playing the game, and he was apparently injured. Then he wasn't injured second that it didn't go through. Savinho definitely wanted to go, in my opinion. It's just a guess, but I am very confident that it was his idea. And I do wonder... I think the reason City, by the way, were so digging the heels in is because Rodrigo said no. We could pretend otherwise, but I think it was the Rodrigo angle. I do think if Rodrigo said, I'll come to you, then City would have let Savinho go for 70 million. But it seems to me that City didn't get the thumbs up from Rodrigo's camp. Rodrigo clearly wanted to stay at Real Madrid because he's a fan of them. And yeah, I mean, we could have invested elsewhere, but I guess at that point, City decided they wanted to screw Spurs over, which you sort of got to respect because they can't stand Spurs. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over Savinho. I'm not going to lose any sleep over the money that we have or haven't got either, because I just don't really care. It's not my problem. I want to know how the players who are here are getting gone. I just don't seem to. I just don't care. I don't care enough. Phil Foden, who wants to be here, scored a beautiful goal, an assist for Divine Mikasa. It's only a little 1-2, but it's a smart 1-2. And it was nice stuff. Rico Lewis of 5.9 there. That feels particularly harsh on the stats there. I think Rico Lewis has been absolutely fine. I think everyone's been fine, really. Nico Gonzalez broken play up really nicely. City kept the ball fine. 82% possession. You want a little bit more from your wingers. I know everyone loves Oscar Bobb, but I want more from him as well. Everyone's digging into Savinho big time, and I guess because of the money. And I'm a massive fan of Oscar Bobb, but the performances have been no different, really. They both sort of flattered to deceive a little bit wide, and I want a bit more from them creatively. And yeah, look, I don't really fully care. I don't really massively care about this performance too much. It is, as long as we win. There is, expectation that City will go through, and I think they will do. We've been fine defensively, and I'm expecting to see City score another 1 or 2 in the second half, and hopefully we'll see some of the young lads. Yeah, Romano did say a board member wanted Savinho to stay. Apparently it was Soriano. I think a lot of it is personal, because I still maintain they want him to stay just to make a point to Spurs. But I also maintain if Rodrigo said, I want to come to City, and City were told by Real Madrid that 85 million would have done it, 15 million they would have took Rodrigo in a heartbeat. But I truly believe Rodrigo wanted to stay at Real Madrid, because he obviously loves it there. He's a Brazilian winger. That's there. And he was hoping that Alonso would play him. And we didn't get the thumbs up. And I must admit, there was no one else that I wanted desperately. And there's an element of fuck Spurs. And you might not agree with that, but City don't need the money. And fuck Spurs is a perfectly fine, acceptable angle to take. They can't stand Daniel Levy. And he's left now, so maybe that's why he left. Because he's so toxic that people don't want to deal with him. Let's talk about Phil Foden taking the team on his back again with a wonderful goal. He looks great this season. He looks really good. Yeah, he looks cracking. He's a brilliant player. By the way, we'll still get 50 million for Savinho. Don't worry. We'll lose 20 million now, but it won't matter. And he's 20 million for a squad player for the season, and you'll probably get. I'd ignore ratings, by the way. These things, it's only on screen because it's easy for the stats stuff, but I don't really like these stats things because they don't. It's a weird metric. The other day it said Kusanov won no duels, which was mental. Oscar Bobb there, with all his passes completed, but not really created anything. This is the thing. I know what we all like Oscar Bobb, but I want to see a bit more from him. How much is Phil worth? Wow. Yeah, 150, 160 million. I would say if someone tried to come here and he wanted to go, I would say more than Verts. I think City would accept 150 million for Foden. They might accept like 130 if Phil really wanted to go. But it has to be over 100. I mean, if you didn't want to go, there's no price. Full stop. That's it. I think that's as simple as that. If he doesn't want to go, there's no price that City would accept. But 175, yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not realistic because no one's ever going to pay that. But I think City would say a Premier League record fee, we'll do it. But I mean, it's irrelevant because Phil's going nowhere. Phil's going to play at Manchester City for his entire life, and his resume is insane. Well, look, Phil, this Phil Foden is better than that Verts. I maintain that because he's done it at a high level. Yeah, that money's gone though from the game Blue Lightsaber. That was Qatar money. That is definitely gone. They don't even have that at PSG anymore. And that was Neymar as well. Let's be honest, Neymar is not Phil Foden. Neymar is a much bigger superstar than Phil Foden. Everyone is hating Savinho, aren't they, on the timeline? It's wild to see. Haaland's 250 million. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, it's definitely fair to say that Savinho has burned an awful lot of bridges. First start of the season, and people are laying into him. Haaland doesn't want to go anywhere ever. Haaland's going to stay here. He's going to stay here, I guarantee you. Unless City massively drop off a cliff, Haaland's staying. Haaland was born to live in England as well. Everything about Haaland screams living in England. Savinho should never start again for City. That is stupid, Sumava. It is genuinely stupid. That is literally just destruction of an asset for the sake of just what? Like, it's not. That's not how the world works, mate. So what if everyone's injured? You just don't play Savinho. We never play him again. For what? To burn money away for no reason. Guy's on 150 grand a week. We just don't ever play him, and we probably tank his value so he goes in a free transfer. Like, come on, man. People just be saying things. Like, you have to. He's a squad player. Yeah, I understand people are angry at him, but come on. He didn't do anything wrong wanting to move. I thought it was silly, but I'm not gonna have a go at him for it, you know. I don't know. I would love to see in the second half a couple more goals. I would really, 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 really like to see your man Mafuni. I think he's a really good player. Look at that bench. You've got Jaden and the Reagan. The Heskey's there. Reagan Heskey's one I'd love to see. A really tricky left winger. Stephen Mafuni is a young Guardiola clone. He's so good. Calvin Phillips, a young lad from Yorkshire, really talented prospect apparently. Could be worth 50 million in the future. Can play midfield apparently. Centre back. Potentially right back, Calvin Phillips. Really hot prospect. England capped as well actually. Don't know where we picked him from. But it looks a talent, Calvin Phillips. See what Pep can do with him. Jaden Heskey is a good young player. Another one. Yeah, Phillips a wonder kid. Good talent. Let's see what he does. Jaden Heskey, Emil Heskey's other lad, attacking midfielder. Was a striker at one point. We'll see how he gets on. Weird seeing Phillips there, isn't it? Savinho is young and impressible. You're absolutely bang on, Carl Kenny. Yeah, I mean, Savinho has burned his bridges a little bit. Look, let's just chill on the Savinho thing. It's not personal, you know. They're both related to Heskey. They're his lads, yeah, which is mental. Emil Heskey's lads both on the bench for Manchester City Football Club, which is just crazy. He became a meme because of KSI, but he was a good player, Heskey. Yeah, that's a mental start, that, to be fair, Usman. It really is. It really is a mental stat. I would love to see Heskey's lads get on the pitch because it's just mental. A Heskey play for Manchester City. It's just weird. Like the football's doing mad things at the moment. All these stories. Like if you told me 20 years ago, Emile Heskey's two boys who played for Manchester City, but would be managed by the greatest manager of all time after we'd won 4 leagues out of 6 or something like that, 5 out of 6, and we'd had 100 points and treble, but Heskey's lads would be on the bench by Guardiola, who 20 years ago would have been a midfielder playing for Barcelona. It doesn't make any sense, does it? The way football's gone. And then you even told me a year ago that City's back line would be Donnarumma in goal, with Nico Riley, who I knew was a number 10, a left back, and a lad from Uzbekistan called Kusanov, who I'd never heard of. I would have laughed at you. But football is going very crazy at the moment. And even told me 2 weeks ago that Calvin Phillips would be on the bench at Manchester City. I would have laughed at you. Fuck knows what's going on. What's happened to Tiki Taka Man? Who's Tiki Taka Man? By the way, 82% possession today. Tiki Taka Man is back in action. 82% possession today, so Tiki Taka Man. Hopefully we get some good substitutions. That Barca side of 2011 was absurd. I used to watch La Liga all the time because of that Barca side. A lot of people didn't like the football, but I was obsessed with that Barcelona side. I thought they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. Pamper Squad, how you doing? Nishai, how you doing? Yeah, I thought they were fantastic. Obviously, you told me back in 2011... or 2009 even, that manager would be managing Manchester City. Oh, mental. We just got money at that point, of course, but yeah. Huddersfield back out early. Stephen Masso, yeah, I mean, the best way to follow him is the City's Academy Twitter, where they put links to them. You often see links to Academy games from other sides as well. Like, they're not all shown on City Plus, but a lot of them are. Best way is to go to the games as well. Obviously, if you're not in Manchester, that's hard. But yeah, what happened to that style of play? Well, football changed, didn't it? Because Pep demanded it did. Football got 10 times more physical, way more aggressive. Pressing got better because of Guardiola. Because when you create a style of play that's so brilliant, people work out a way to counter it, and the way to counter it was intense physicality, intense pressing and energy on a level that we've never seen before. And also, look, to play that style, you need Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta, Dani Alves, Messi. You need players like that. It's not easy. You can't do that way. Messi, the greatest player of all time. And then for City, you need John Stones at his best, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Cancelo. You need geniuses to play that kind of football. So that kind of football is there. It's just they were the as Aspie put it perfectly, Pep's Barcelona was the absolute pinnacle. The pinnacle of football, in my opinion. The greatest ever footballing side at any level ever in the history of the sport is Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. They beat anyone ever in the history of football. Obviously, in individual games is a chance, but over they play 100 games against any side, they win 75 to 80 of them. I guarantee you. Alves and Messi is just the most absurd talent I've ever seen. Ridiculous. Second half's underway. City's 2023 side is one of the only sides that would actually give that side a hard time. Because I think they would have been strong physically, and they kept the ball really nicely. But Messi was at his peak. It's Messi. Messi's the difference. Second half underway anyway. City 2023 is one of the greatest sides of all time. It is. They had the perfect quality of insane game winners. Haaland, De Bruyne, the brilliance of Mahrez and Bernardo Silva in big games, and Gundogan in big moments. But then they had the insane physicality and the size of people of like once again Haaland and Rodri and genius levels. The City side was genius level. Even Grealish was great in that side as well. You had Foden, you had Kyle Walker at his very best. You had all these big, powerful defenders at centre back playing out wide in Kanji and Ake. Everyone was just so on it. Everyone was so strong, so powerful, and it was very hard to get through. Now they would have found a way, Barcelona that side, I'm sure, but there's probably not been many defences better equipped in terms of physicality and the structure to manage that side than City's that time. But we'll see. I mean, we could potentially. I think you're right. This might be a good Champions League winning side. The way that City played against Arsenal, that would get you far in the Champions League. I'm being serious. Yaya was great, but he was also a lazy fuck. People forget that. I loved Yaya, but he was very, very lazy. Modern football would not be kind on Yaya, I mean that. I mean, we forget just how little he ran. Alrighty, on the overlap. Nearly fell to Oscar Bobb. City treble team battered that United treble team. I'm being serious. Obviously, it's a different era. United's treble team wasn't even the best in Europe. Like, they scraped their way through brilliantly, but they scraped their way through. Yeah, it was a lot to Gareth Barry, you know. He really does. Combined 11 of that team. Well, United treble team was what? Schmeichel in goal, Neville, Irwin. Was it Yapstam, Ronnie Johnson? But they had the Henningberg in defence, didn't they? Not Yapstam. It was Yapstam was later, wasn't he? So it was Ronnie Johnson because it was like Bruce. Was it Henningberg and Ronnie Johnson, wasn't it? And then midfield was like, it was like Beckham, Scholes, Keane, Giggs, York and Cole, wasn't it? Then Sheringham as well, Solskjaer. No, it's like a lot of cities. It's very hard to be fair. Roy Keane, by the way, brilliant in the modern era would be. Roy Keane would really suit, three-man midfield. I know we're not meant to like Roy Keane, but he'd be cracking in this era now where everyone's really aggressive and box to box. Like Roy Keane would walk into most sides. I really believe that. I can admit Roy Keane was brilliant. Was Neville good? Neville was a really good player. He was very reliable, very solid. Kyle Walker's better though, but not even close. Neville did everything really well, but he was never great. He's not great at anything, but good at everything. Beckham really talented as well, I can admit that. Beckham would be a right back now. You might laugh at that, but he'd be a right back. In this modern era, Trent Alexander-Arnold was Beckham. Oh, lucky Savinho. Trent Alexander-Arnold was out. He was out of time. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a right winger in a 4-4-2. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Zambo was a really good player. Never world class, but a really good player. But a world class desire. Also, Roy Keane was much more talented than people. Rodri's better than Roy Keane, but Roy Keane was way more talented technically than people give him credit for. You put Rodri alongside Roy Keane, that's a fucking midfield. Beckham did work really hard, but these days he's playing as I guarantee he's playing as a right back. With that United side, yeah, Trent would have been a right winger the 90s. He would have just been a right winger crossing the ball. Zabba was an 7.5, 8 out of 10 footballer who had 9 out of 10 performances. Vieira and Yaya, or Rodri and Keane? Rodri and Keane win that, I think. I mean, Rodri and Keane both work harder than Vieira. I don't know, actually. Oof, I don't know. Peak Vieira in the eye, that's a hell of a game, actually. I don't really know. Stop spamming that, Vic. Giggs is one slightly overrated. I maintain that he's slightly overrated, Giggs. Yeah, but he's not this world-class genius. He was a really good winger, and that was it. Very consistent. My stream's gone. Jekyll's problem is that we had Aguero. Aguero was just better. That was it. Jekyll was ace, but just not as good as your man Sergio. Would Scholes do well in this era? Potentially. Yeah, talented, but he was not. Yeah, he would do. He'd probably be playing more like Adam Wharton, I reckon. I do think football's better though than it is back then. People I'm not just saying this. The standard is so much higher because it has to be because the sports analysts and the way that football's played, the technical level, everyone's got a pass. I really do believe the standard's higher technically. Like defenders could not pass it around that much when I was growing up. Now you've got defenders as good as the best midfielders. Why has my stream gone down? He was talented, Giggs, definitely, but like nowhere near as genius as much people make it out to be. Oh, my stream's gone down. Is anyone else's stream gone? It's miles better football. I was there. I watched the 90s football, and teams could not defend. It's miles better now. The defend is miles better. You watch it, it's amateurish. I think people forget just how poor some of the football was back then. Like, genuinely, players were drunk still. Drinking, they weren't as fit. They didn't have to pass it, these went long. You watch it, just kicking it long. A genuine lack of quality. I know because I was there living it. This is really annoying me. Has anyone got a stream? If so, can you send me? Come on. Well, like Marley Giggs is a weird one because they're very different players. Why has my stream gone down? Can someone DM me a stream, by the way? Because I've genuinely lost. I've lost my streams and it's driving me mad. They've all seemed to have gone down. I can't answer Rodri or Busquets. I don't know. There we go. Found it. I've got it working again. There we go. Savinho's just done really well from what I just saw. Oh, unlucky. Ted, I just saw your DM. Thank you so much, mate. I've just got it working now, just right now. No bloody sound though. He's having a good game, Nico, isn't he?
It's just that Huddersfield changing from a
There we go, I'm back.
defensive mode where they get caught out here. It's positionally Redmond and Rowan eventually get back and able to get a toe on it, but Manchester City.
What did I miss for a few minutes there? I missed a few minutes. Apologies. What did Mikasa do? De Bruyne and Iniesta, same level to me. I truly believe it. I think they're the same level. I honestly believe they're both same level. Both levels. Iniesta, a genius on the ball. De Bruyne is the most natural creator I've ever seen in the history of sport, other than maybe Messi. No one would be questioning if he played for Barcelona or Madrid. Imagine De Bruyne being Real Madrid in that golden era. You have about 400 assists for Ronaldo, and no one would even question it. Nice ball from Rico to Mikasa. Look, Busquets an absolute genius as well. Busquets probably slightly more smarter on the ball than Rodri, like slightly more. But Rodri a billion times more clutch and much more of a goal threat and much more complete. So Busquets was a world-class number 6, whereas, you know, you've got Rodri is also a world-class number 8 and also a brilliant 10 probably as well. You win your games. Danny Alves is a better footballer than Kyle Walker. But then Kyle Walker's a better defender. But Danny Alves is better than Kyle Walker. Kante or Rodri for me, mate. They're once again they're different. There's two different ways. Football's way harder now. Like, people are mad. Like, people pretend that it isn't. Everyone goes on about, you know, superstars and like they go, look at all these superstars that you had. Like, everyone goes on about people like Figo and that. But you know, Bernardo Silva is just as talented as Figo. He was. It's just football's harder. It's just harder now. They're all just as talented. They can all do the same things. There's just no space, and it's so physical. Bobb's done really well there. Mikasa on the volley. Trade the keeper. Sorry, my cough's a bit bad tonight. Just one of those dry coughs, you know, like where you just a bit of tightness because it never goes, the inflammation. Permanently in a state of minor illness. Danny Alves was mental, yeah, like a genius footballer. Oh, O'Reilly, should have done better than, mate. Burst forward, O'Reilly, had space in the area. Marcelo, I think. I think Roberto Carlos was yeah, he dined off that left foot, but I think Marcelo was smarter. Lovely from Oscar Bobb. Oh, it's a shame because he found a bit of confidence, Oscar Bobb. But he ran into who was it? Poyolo Ramos? Yeah. They're the same, man. I mean, they're the same level, just different styles, aren't they? A lot of these are probably the same, by the way, but I'm on about Marcelo and Carlos, probably the same. Kante, Rodri probably the same level, all world class. Busquets and Rodri might be the same level, all world class. Iniesta, De Bruyne might be the same level, all just world class. But they're also different as well. It's not like you're comparing slightly different kinds of players, aren't you? And nostalgia, of course, the players can only be as good as the level it was 30 years ago. But football is better now. It is. I'm sorry, but it is. In terms of overall, I'm not saying the top players are better, but in terms of the overall standard, maybe the superstars aren't all quite as shiny, but it's because the floor is raised so high. Look at you've got players that end up being. Look at where Bournemouth's back line is. Bournemouth, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and PSG. 3 of them are playing at that level now. Like, that is what we're on about in terms of the standards. Like, you've got like potential world class players. Lovely football from City here, by the way. Champions League sides, lower Premier League sides. Look how good Adam Wharton is. Look how good Alisson is now at Bayern. Arguably their best player after Kane, and he's comes from Crystal Palace. Ridiculous, man. Yoga Benito is dead because he can't. It's not possible. He's just not possible. Like, you haven't got the space. Like, it's literally not possible to stand there and flick around because like teams will go, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" It doesn't come off because teams are more organised. They've worked it out and they know where to be. It really is. That's the case. There'll be another Neymar. No, it's not the last. There's always going to be great dribblers that come out of nowhere, you know? And look at how Shirky plays, by the way. Shirky was what we signed. I'm not saying he's Neymar, but look how he plays football. He's ridiculous. He's so fun. There was always going to be people. It's not like there was a billion Neymars, by the way, either. Where's the other Neymars, you know? Like, Neymar was a one-off level footballer too. That's the thing. We need to remember that. Like, there wasn't 40 Neymars knocking about. There was loads of shit players who wanted to play at Neymar, but they were shit, so you never heard of them. Mario Ballesteros, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, mate. We'll win. It's a bunch of players early on in the season rotated in. And we're throwing all the ball. We'll probably score second and third at some point. And who cares? Duo is a Neymar region, but Duo is nowhere near the level of Neymar. Like, Neymar at his best was a 40-goal-a-season player. Neymar is the closest thing I've seen to Messi, personally. I know people don't like Neymar. Neymar's a genius. My footballing Mount Rushmore. Feels lazy to say Pele and Maradona, doesn't it? Because I never watched them play. For me, yeah, Neymar was the third best player after Messi and Ronaldo. Absolutely. Neymar's a genius. Neymar just unfortunately was a little bit lazy and it lost his focus a bit. And in fact, Neymar should never, ever have left Barcelona. He was an idiot to leave Barcelona. Truly an idiot. That's pride, unfortunately. Just accept that you're in Messi's shadow, and then Messi would have moved on, and Neymar would have eventually been the guy who took the mantle, and it would have been yeah. And Neymar worked pretty hard in that Barcelona side for with Suarez and Messi. It was ridiculous. There's exceptions always, but not a lot of Brazilian players do genuinely drift around the age of 30. Transfers I wished it happened. Alexis Sanchez, I think, would have been really good at City. I think he would have been fantastic. I think Pep would have got the best out of him. I think Sanchez would have kicking himself going to United. I think he would have been cracking. I thought he was a brilliant footballer, Alexis Sanchez. He would have liked Tevez at City, I think. I'm trying to think. I mean, Messi's the one. Messi, that for years back, Messi would have been ridiculous fun. That's the ultimate one, isn't it, Messi? Yeah, Kaka. No, Kaka was a weird one, wasn't it? I don't think we're ready for Kaka. I think Kaka would have ended up stupid. Like, I don't like Ronaldo, Kyle Kenny, so I was buzzing that it didn't happen. I think Cristiano's a prick, so Messi a billion times more than Ronaldo for me. I think Ronaldo's an objectively bad person, so, but I won't, And he also is United lad, so fuck that. Oh, lucky Oscar Bobb. Good effort. Savinho was good. It was good for City. It turns out he's an awful person as well, doesn't it? Unfortunately, but he was good. He was good for City. But once again, Robinho. That touches what I said about Kaka. We weren't ready for Robinho. Like he was on the way, but we weren't quite good enough for him yet. And Kaka would have been the same. Would have been stupid. We needed those De Jong Kompany type signings. Gareth Barry, Wayne Bridge, Kolo Toure. They were the right signings from where we were at the time. I'm not bothered about Verts. Robinho didn't want to be here, dipshit. Let's be honest, mate. We weren't very good. Of course, I remember Rocky Santa Cruz. He's still playing, mate. David Villa, that would have been. Yeah, David Villa was great. Brilliant footballer. Rocky Santa Cruz is 43 years old and still playing in Peru. I googled him the other day. Googled him. I was excited by Verts, but I don't know. Ever since, I'm not bothered. Pedro, never forget about him. Brilliant player. Pedro is... I would love a Pedro. The City. Great movement, great goal scorer. Pedro reminds me of one of my favourite players at Arsenal years ago, Lundberg. Sorry, my cough's starting to bother me a little bit. I might have to take a break in a minute. No, yeah, that was 10-1. Huddersfield's the City's most famous, well, highest goal scorer in every game. Long range effort. I might have to. I have to take a breath just for the match reaction later because I'm got a real tight chest right now. I mean, I do enjoy a good nostalgia shot. I think we do get bogged down in who's better. There's literally no way to prove it. Go on, Nico. And I think there's no correct answer for a lot of them. Unless the question is Messi or whoever, then Messi's always the answer. Messi is always the answer, by the way. Messi is the greatest player of all time. That's the one thing I won't ever doubt. Messi is the best ever. Messi was just normal. The best achievement Ronaldo ever did was being in the same conversation as Messi. That's his biggest achievement because Messi was sublime. The best passer, the best dribbler, the most impetuous finisher. No, never. Messi was not normal. The pace that he moved to, the direction of the plays. No one's ever dribbled as well as Messi. And no one's ever scored goals better than Messi. Or created better than Messi. Messi's passing as well. Yeah, just absurd. Cassie shot blocked. Oscar Bobb getting a bit of space here. Oh, a lot of crosses to no one. Oh, midfield three of those guys. I'm so biased, Usman. I don't think you need Busquets when you've got Rodri. So I'm picking Rodri because I don't think when you keep the ball as well as Xavi and Iniesta Silva do, you don't really need Busquets. So I go to Rodri there. Because Rodri's going to score you goals. Do you understand my logic there? Like, I don't think you need... Like, you've got genius dictators anyway. You just don't need that extra little bit. Like, Rodri is... Like, if Busquets is 10 out of 10 in terms of composure, Rodri's 9.7. You know what I mean? Like, he's so close in terms of composure at his best that I just don't think you need to lean on that finger because you've got the others who are geniuses too. So by that logic, I'm going for Rodri. Because he brings the goals and the genius. And then after that, you've got... Who else do you choose? God, that's difficult. I think you have to... I'm so biased. I think Iniesta... I think I'd go for Iniesta and Silva. I think Xavi genius, but I think I'd go for David Silva with Rodri and... No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. We are just penning them in here, aren't we? Just penning them in. Oh, beautiful finish from Savinho. Look at that, man. Left-footed. As I've always said. Said it before. And I'll say it again. Savinho is only a goal scorer from the left. He is. He's way more confident shooting from the left. Good goal. It's a good finish. It's a really nice goal for Savinho. I'm happy for him. Savinho's been fine tonight. Not if he's done come up, but I agree. People need to chill on the hate of Savinho. It's not a crime to what a fancier move. Really nice finish from Savinho. Really nice finish. I mean, he scores from the left for Girona. He scored from the left for City. You want him to score goals, play him on the left. Foden off too. Your man Tijani on. Bobb fell off. Sorry with the coughing. I feel really bad with the coughing, but there's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. Oh, lovely goal though, isn't it? Watching the replay again. Pinged into the roof of the net. Mo, I reckon if we score another goal, we'll see a few. So what? Heskey's coming, hasn't he? Where's he playing? So Jaden Heskey's on. Go on, Jaden. Attacking midfielder. Smart player as well. Smart footballer, Jaden Heskey. Heskey plays for Manchester City. Yeah, I feel a bit like tight-chested, doesn't it? I'm not gonna lie, mate. It's I feel fine, but been having like slightly asthma feelings. Guys, I'm going to leave it here because I feel a little bit, yeah, I need to settle the cough a little bit. And, yeah, I've got a bit of slight wheeze, actually. Yeah, a bit asthma-y. Oh. Go on, Savinho. Oh, Savinho, you got to shoot. I'll be live for the match reaction, but I'm going to just chill for a little bit. I'll see you live in, like, what, 20 minutes, something like that? Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.